Teachability as a virtue. What does virtue mean? Virtue. A good moral quality in a person, or the general quality of being morally good. Teaching as a good moral.
Virtue.
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 Virtue. I think
Virtue.
Virtue.
virtue. Teaching as a virtue. Virtue.
Virtue.
Virtue. Virtue. Virtue. What we mean by talking back is not something apart from. What we mean by talking back is not something apart from reading. It is the third stage in the analytical reading of a book, and there are rules here as in the case of the first two stages. Some of these rules are general maxims of intellectual ethical etiquette. Maxims. Maxim, a short statement of general truth. I think I need some context here. Must have lost the context. That's fine. Some of these rules are general maxims of intellectual etiquette. We will deal with them in this chapter. Others are more specific criteria for defining points of criticism. They will be discussed in the next chapter. There is a tendency to think that a good book is above criticism of the average reader. There is a tendency to think that a good book is above the criticism of the average reader. The reader and the author are not peers. The reader and authors are not peers. The author, according to this view, should be subjected to trial only by a jury of his peers. The author, according to this view, should be subjected to a trial only by his peer, by a jury. Jury, a group of people who have been chosen to listen to all the facts in a trial in a law court. A group of people who've been chosen to listen to all facts in trial in a law court and decide if a person is guilty or not guilty, and if a claim has been proved. Jury of his peers. Remember Bacon's recommendation to the reader: read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, nor to find, talk, and discourse, but to weigh and consider. Bacon's recommendation: read not to contradict. Read not to contradict. Don't read it to say whatever it's written is wrong. Just blindly contradict. To say the opposite of what someone else has said. To say opposite of what someone else has said. And confute.
Contradict.
Contradict. Confute.
Confute.
Confute. Confute. To prove person or an argument to be wrong. To confute. Confute. But to know, to believe, and take for granted. Contradict, confuse. Not to believe in, take for granted, not to find talk and discourse. Not to find talk and discourse. Discourse. Discourse.
Discourse.
The use of language to communicate in a speech or writing, or an example of this, features spoken discourse. Discourse, talk and discuss. See, discourse here means like the discourse. I think we come across discourse in the past. That is the use of language to communicate in speech or writing. Ellipsis is characteristic feature of spoken discourse. It's in Kannada I think it's like nudi adu matu, something like that. It's a spoken language discourse. Another meaning of discourse is discourse. So in this line, this is read not to talk and discourse, that is discuss, but to weigh and consider. But to weigh and consider, you have to assess. Sorry. Weigh, to have a heaviness of a stated statement, or to measure the heaviness of the object, to have a heaviness of a stated amount. Just to understand what it is and consider. Sir Walter Scott casts even more dire aspersion on those. Scott casts even more dire situation, very serious aspersions. Dire.
Dire.
More dire aspersions. Criticism, suggestion, or remark that damages another person's reputation. That.
Aspersions.
Aspersions. Aspersions. Aspersions.
Aspersions.
Aspersions. Criticism that damages other person's reputation. Mr. Scott casts even more dire aspersions on those who read to doubt or read to scorn. Who read to doubt and read to scorn. Scorn. A strong feeling of no respect.
Scorn.
Stupid has no scorn. Come on, don't try to scorn. He has nothing but scorn for We have nothing but a scorn for a new generation of politics. We have nothing but a scorn for religious opinions of ruling party. Why do you always heap scorn on my suggestions?